Okay, here we go again. Talking to y'all this morning about those ever infamous bad days. I had one last night, yesterday, whatever you want to call it. I had a less than awesome day, and how did I handle it? How will I handle it? How can I continue to handle it? And how do we, in general, handle bad days? Because they are going to happen. They are an unavoidable fact of life. And as much as I'm sure we would all like to live in a world of bliss and happiness and believe that bad days are this unavoidable thing, I think we all are also equally aware that that is not actually reality. And so yesterday, it was one of those days where you had a whole bunch of stuff planned, and then one big thing comes along and derails everything that you had set out to do. And that's exactly what yesterday was for me. And in a way, like, it's all about perspective. I was able to knock out a relatively big task that has been on my to-do list now for a long time, and I quite literally just sat down, made the time to do it, and got it done. What it unfortunately means is all of the other things that I had on my to-do list that week just got largely ignored, but at least I got the one thing done that needed to be done. And like I said, it's one of those big, large, yucky tasks that you know is going to take forever. And of course, like, whenever something like that happens, you get caught in a bad mood, and you're just evidently, like, always, just anything is going to set you off. And you have to kind of watch yourself, and perspective is key. Like, is the fact that you had to do this task for 6 hours of your 8-hour day, is that really so detrimental that you've just completely ruined yourself for the remainder of your day? And like, sometimes things happen and they're unavoidable, and they will have that kind of adverse effect on your day, and you just can't avoid it. Like, it happens. But to the same end, like, you should try your darndest to not let it control you. That lady works in the same place I work. But yeah, don't let it control you, and try your darndest to make the most of what you have going on and of your situations. And that's what I was hoping to do. Gotta go get some gas this morning. I keep forgetting that I need gas when I need gas, and I also should have packed my shoes for the gym, but oh well. It's difficult to talk out here because there's so much noise. I don't know if y'all are catching that or not. You kind of have to. There's no way you don't hear that. Gas stations, am I right? My receipt. Yes. Ooh. All right. Getting the gas going. See what happens this morning. Hopefully today can be a better one than yesterday. Gonna learn some important news in the work front today. Hopefully it's good, important news. And hope to get some things going there. But yeah, we will soon find out what it is we have going on and how it is that we plan to do it. All right. Fill up 27.69. It's about average. Nothing too fancy. Alright, I'm back in the car, y'all. Did y'all miss me? Oop, I gotta get my keys before I can go anywhere. But yeah, so the big thing, like, when you have a bad day, like I said, don't let it ruin you. Use the old power of perspective. Like, it could be a lot worse. I have a close friend going through some really tough stuff right now, and that helps to put things in perspective for me. I'm like, you know what? I am not having to deal with the awful stuff that he's having to deal with. So thank goodness for that. And just continuing to leverage perspective to my advantage. I am very excited for my vacation, which is right around the corner. Could not come soon enough. And do some fun stuff there, get away for a while. I've got a lot of creative plans boiling up that I'm wanting to try and get figured out. So hopefully I can get a lot of good creative stuff knocked out during the week and a half that I find myself not working, and like getting that time back is huge. I want to start this podcast / radio show / YouTube faceless channel thing, and I want to get like 3 episodes deep on it, and I'm very excited for this project. I'm hoping that it takes off, people like it, people enjoy it, and that I am able to finally find my place in this internet world. I released a video several months back talking about how I am essentially right now a variety channel, and how difficult it is for me as a variety channel to stick out. YouTube is very directed, and in a sense, most everything is very directed. And so, like, it is hard for someone to be like, yeah, I appeal to everyone, because you then inadvertently appeal to no one. And it's popular advice that makes total sense, that everybody gives, and I think a lot of people get. But like me personally, like, it's not that I'm trying to appeal to everyone, it's that I have a variety of interests. And like, as much as I love music, which is what my podcast faceless channel thing is going to ultimately be about, I also have several other interests. And like, so in a way, I'll make that one the focused channel, and I'll make this one the less focused, more chaotic channel. And as people gravitate hopefully towards the focused content, they'll look more seriously into who I am, figure out the man behind the content, and maybe they'll stop by and watch this channel because then they care about the content that I'm putting out. But there's really no telling the who, what, when, where, why of things. I am trying to adjust my camera angle because someone pointed out that it would be very easy to identify where I am from the videos that I have been posting. And so I am trying to alleviate the identifiability of things. And so hopefully, now, of course, I'm paranoid, and I'm like, do I need to go back and re-edit all these videos? I've got like 130 videos up on the web already. Like, I don't think I'm going to be re-editing them. I had planned on doing a cleanse at the end of the year anyway. Any videos that just did not perform or that I am not proud of, I don't know that I'll remove, but I'll make them unlisted. And so you might be able to see them in the big playlist, but you wouldn't be able to see them individually on the channel. Because the other thing is like, as I release more content, like, it creates more noise on my channel. Like, for example, if this channel is going to be like my Compression Man channel, which eventually Compression Man will probably outgrow this channel and he'll be his own thing. But if this channel were to initially be my Compression Man channel, then like, if you're coming to my content looking for Compression Man, you're gonna have a hard time finding him because he's buried in what is gonna be 365 videos like this. And so it's just interesting to me to look at that and to figure out like how that's gonna work. Now, maybe at some point in time, it'll probably be next year before I dedicate Compression Man to his own channel, because I have to build up a decent amount of episodes, and like right now I'm not even done with 2 episodes. Like, I'm done with 1 and I'm very near completion with another, and then hopefully I can get 1 more, and maybe when I get 3 episodes deep, that's when I dedicate a channel to it. But yeah, I do think that I will get to the point where I am managing 3 channels at once, essentially. I have a Compression Man channel, I have this channel, and I've got the music related channel. And hopefully they can feed each other, and they can, because that's one thing that I like, is like people get videos sponsored by things or whatever. But I hope that I can like sponsor my own videos and get like my music people to watch Compression Man and my compression people to watch the music show. And I don't know that apparently I'm not going to funnel anybody to this channel, but people will find it eventually. And so yeah, it's just a very interesting little thing that I have going on here, and hopefully can maintain and be able to really just have a good go at things and succeed and continue to succeed. I feel like this year will be a strong year for me creatively. It's already been a strong year in the amount of things that I have done and attempted to do that I have not done or attempted to do before. And so that's really good. I do need to get my finances squared up again come June. Like, I'm gonna hit vacation pretty hard, and then after June I'm gonna be a pretty boring guy, and it's like, all right, no more irresponsible spending. You've had your fun for literally half the year. Let's rein it back in. And so it's unfortunate that in terms of saving, this year has been mostly a wash, and now I'm starting to get to a place where I'm like losing ground, which is never good. And so I need to rein that back in. I'm doing fine. I'm not going to have any sort of issues there. It just doesn't feel good. It definitely doesn't feel good when your saving has remained stagnant for as long as it has, but it feels worse when you start losing grounds on it, and you're like, okay, like, I need to be responsible. And so that's what's gonna happen, is I'm gonna have to, like I said, in June, it'll be a rude awakening, because I will have spent all my monies and done all my fun things in May. Be like, all right, you've had your fun for the year, now you gotta dial it back. But it's fine. It'll all work out, and I'll be happy that I did it. And that's really all we can do, is appreciate what we've done, appreciate what we've been doing, and continually move towards good and successful things. And so I'm gonna have a lot of fun in May. I ordered 2 of my higher dollar items, and so hopefully I can get those guys and start playing with them and really just have a good time doing what I do. It'll be interesting, because one of the things that I bought that I've wanted for a while is a high resolution music player. I've had one, so a little story time for y'all. I had an iPod Classic for a very long time, and it quoted that it could hold 80 gigabytes of music, and I tried to load 73 gigabytes of music on it, and the thing exploded. And it, like, I couldn't bring the thing back to life. It wouldn't wake up, it wouldn't do anything. Time goes by as I'm tinkering with the thing in recovery mode or whatever. I finally get it to wake back up and start functioning again. And then what happens is it's only playing like fractions of songs. And so it'll play like the first minute of a 3-minute song, and then it'll switch to the next song. I'm like, what in the world? No, I can't be doing this. This is not cool. And so I'm like, okay, well, someone's got to make MP3 players still, right? Like, there's a modern MP3 player. And so I'm looking. And most of the people who make them anymore make what they call high fidelity players, and they're not cheap. And so I was like, okay, well, that's going to go on the back burner for a while. And what I did for a good while is I just put playlists on my phone, and I left them, and I would just change them every week or so, because like my phone can only hold like 100 songs. I own like 20,000 songs, and I get very bored hearing the same 100 songs for longer than a week. So, and that's what I did for a good several years, until finally it was the COVID money that people sent out. I don't remember the official term, the stimulus checks or the stimulus monies, whatever they call them, came through, and that is what I spent mine on. I spent it on this high fidelity music player, and it was awesome. I love the thing, but I lost it. I have no idea where I lost it. I feel like it has to be somewhere in my house or in my parents' house. Like, those are the only places I went the day that it went missing, so I have no idea where it went. But at any rate, so I lost it, don't have it anymore, went back to the phone, and I've been dying to go back to what I once had. And so finally, I'm like, you know what, this year, my birthday, I'm gonna break down, I'm gonna get a new one. And I really wanted the same quality of player that I had before, but they were very expensive, and it's hard for me to find them new. Even like every time I found one online, they were almost always used. This company makes it very difficult to buy things from them. It confuses me. But at any rate, I found a comparable. It sounds comparable when I look at it on paper. And so my hope is that this comparable item will be good, or good enough. I'm not expecting it to be better, but if it's at least as good as what I had, then I think I'll be happy. And load up my music onto a little drive, because that's the one thing that's disappointing about it, is it does not it doesn't have. So my other one had 2 slots. It had a standard SD card slot and a micro SD card slot. And so I was able to what I did is I put my music that's like not safe for work on one SD card, and then I put everything else on another one. My library is largely safe for work, and if anything, it's more subject matter than it is like obscene language. I get clean versions of a lot of the songs that I like, and I clean a lot of the songs up that I like. So like if I don't like what you're saying, then I clean it up myself. And so that was just an interesting little thing where I would take the SD card out when I was at work and didn't have to worry about anything coming on that I didn't want people to hear, versus when I was in my car jamming out doing my thing, I could leave the SD card in and I would be perfectly fine. And so now that that is no longer a thing, I am I'm interested on how I'm going to do that. Like, I have them broken up by folders. I don't know if I can tell it to just play all the folders, or if I can select folders. And that was another thing that I really liked about the other one, is I could build playlists like on the fly. Like, what I would frequently do is I would build a playlist while I'm sitting there at work listening to music, and then let the playlist that I built out do its own thing. Well, that's not, I don't know if that's a feature or not, and I'm just going to have to play around with it and find out. they're all supposed to come here and be here by the 29th, but my birthday is the 1st, and so my hope is that they'll show up on time, or even if they're late, they'll show up on time for my birthday, and I'll have something to play around with. Bought a new cassette deck as well, which is, I really like my old cassette deck. The only issue I have with it is it only plays. It can't rewind, it can't fast forward, and it can't record. And so I would like to have a cassette deck that can do all of those things. They still make new cassette decks in this day and age, which is bonkers to me, but at the same time, like, not so bonkers, because like turntables are still a thing. But I think the difference is like the cassette decks that you're finding on the market aren't quite the same as the turntables that you're finding on the market. You can find like a modern turntable that is very cheap and like is just the bare bones basics of a turntable, whereas cassette decks, if you're buying a brand new one, it's going to be a quality deck. You're not just going to find some cheap deck that someone threw together to get on a board with a cassette trend, because there is no cassette trend. Like, there is a vinyl trend, and cassette is trending more so than it used to, but I still don't think it's picked up, and I don't know that it will. It might, but I don't know that it will. I feel like the vinyl kick is tapering off. Like, I feel like we're reaching that point now where people are kind of over vinyl again, and like there's still a lot of vinyl-y things hanging out that people are paying attention to, but I don't think it's to the extent that it was at one point in time. And what I'm thinking is, when this vinyl craze goes away, when people get over vinyl, then the physical music media will officially die at that point. It's already not a very big profitable thing, and I don't know a lot of... Well, there are several modern musicians who are still releasing CDs and stuff, but I don't know what like the profit looks like from that. Like, if a musician drops a new album, like, how many of their fans actually go out and buy it? I feel like not very many. I feel like I'm alone in that regards, but maybe the numbers are bigger than I think, because like there is an inherent cost that comes into making music, and if you can't resolve that cost through your sales, then why make it to begin with? And so that's why it's an interesting balancing act for me, because it's like, why would these people go out of their way to make music if they're not making money doing it? But at the same time, it just, from the outside looking in, it doesn't look profitable anymore. I don't know how many people go out and buy CDs. I feel like even when I was buying CDs and they were in their heyday, like, I don't know that that was like as much of a craze as it is now. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me and the people that I hang around with. But I feel like I knew a lot of people who were just totally fine with listening to the radio, which is also largely in part why internet radio blew up the way in which it did. But at any rate, we've had a good one today. Thank you for stopping by. Hope that it was a fruitful conversation for you, and I'll see you next time.